know. Gene, is that you moving things around? I'm hearing noise. I couldn't tell if it was coming from
No, it's not me.
the, it kind of looked like it was coming from Joanne, but that's showing muted, so I don't know.
Not me, Mr. Chairman.
All right. All right, well, it's 6:01, September 8th, 2021, and the joint meeting of the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Health is now open. The first item on the agenda is coronavirus update. I saw Deb was on the line.
Can you see me?
Yes.
Okay. So, okay, I'll start with our latest data. The good news in the vaccination rates is we have 85% of our residents have received one vaccine, and 79% have had fully vaccinated. The only reason that we're not showing in the high 80s is because of the age group 12 to 15, they're only 76% fully vaccinated, but every other age group is in the high 80s or low 90s. So we're getting there. We do have an influx of new cases right now. In the last 2 weeks, August 25th to September 8th, we had 381 residents tested, and out of that, we have 19 new positive cases, which brings our total cases since the very beginning up to 297. And unfortunately, half of those now are in the year 2021. Just to compare this year to last year, I think I might have mentioned in August of last year, we had 3 cases. And this past August, we had 27 cases. September of last year, we only had 3 cases. And this year, we're already have 10 new cases just in September. So that's the latest data on that. A couple of other things, the school, I met with the school yesterday, and we're going to start our weekly meetings again now that school's open. And their school is going to move forward with their testing, which is test and stay, meaning any close contacts now who are asymptomatic and our school-age children will be able to, instead of staying home for the whole quarantine period, they'll be able to come to school, and if they test negative, they will be able to stay in school, because there is absolutely no remote learning this year. So school is only going to be in person. The flu vaccine literally just arrived probably 15 minutes ago, Tony. And I put it in the refrigerator, so we'll be working on the logistics of having our clinic this year. We didn't get our full shipment. We got all of our flu zone, which is the regular flu vaccine, but we only got 20 out of the 100 doses of the high dose. So that I hope will be coming in within the next few days as well. So I think that's pretty much the latest news, unless there's any questions.
There is a question in the chat, Deb, about is it possible to share the age groups in which the COVID cases are being identified? I know in the past we've been cautious about that because of how small the town we are.
Right. Well, it's safe to say we have every single age group right now. We have school-aged kids, we have 30-year-olds, we have 60-year-olds, and we have 70-year-olds. And also, unfortunately, not all of the people, but the people that are vaccine eligible in that age group, which is, anybody not in the elementary school, most of our cases have been fully vaccinated. So we do have a couple right now that have not been vaccinated. But like I said, most of them have been vaccinated. And just to let people know, we got an email today from the state. So we use this application called Maven to be notified of our new cases. And Maven is going to be shut down for maintenance Friday from 5 p.m. until Sunday, 5 p.m. So we will not be able to do any outreach over the weekend because we will not have any access to that information. So I expect on Monday, it'll be quite the day.
So Deb, the last meeting, we talked a lot about, what the message is to the public about the current, uptick in numbers. And just to repeat that, I see like a decent number of folks on the call tonight. So take the opportunity to repeat some of that info, and that, we definitely are seeing more cases this time of year compared to last year at the same time.
Right.
And we're also seeing, especially in the pediatrics and in the younger age, not necessarily COVID, but the RSV, the typical respiratory virus that's transmitted this time of year or in the next couple months amongst children, is happening sooner this year. And so in that, in the hospitals and pediatrics world, they are surging at the moment, not necessarily because of COVID, but also because the RSV is really high at this moment. So knowing that, the youth are ineligible, under 12 ineligible to be vaccinated, even if you yourself are vaccinated, if you live with someone under the age of 12, you should act as if you are not vaccinated, because you can carry and transmit to them. And it's a scary situation for that age group right now. Same thing goes with whether you're vaccinated or not. If you have underlying health conditions or you live with someone that has underlying health conditions, you should act as if you are unvaccinated. That doesn't mean that vaccine is ineffective. The vaccine is effective, but it's not bulletproof. It's not 100%. If you compare the effectiveness of the vaccine to, say, the flu shot is considered effective at 50%. Is that accurate, Deb?
You're doing a great job, Tony.
All right, I'm finally getting the hang of it. But the COVID vaccine, whichever one you got, ranges from 75 to 80% effective. So no policy, no vaccine is going to guarantee that you won't catch COVID. But so you should keep that in mind when if you, like I said, if you live with someone who's under the age of 12 that's unvaccinated, or someone who's unvaccinated, if you yourself or someone you live with has underlying health conditions, and certainly if you are entering a risky environment, so indoor, high crowd, for a long period of time, you want to be wearing a mask, and you want to monitor yourself and how long you're in there and the distance you are with other people. We currently, as a town, we don't have a mask mandate outside of the Johnson Elementary School and Council on Aging location or related programs, and as well as the library. However, it's possible that if numbers continue to rise, that we may get there in the coming months. Right now, with a 80% vaccination rate and a town that I think has responded excellent to, guidance and education, we feel comfortable that we're in a position to just advise people as to, when they should be wearing a mask. So that's where we are right now. That could change in the coming months. Thank you, Deb, and to Anna and Kristen for all their help as well. John, do you have anything to add to coronavirus?
There we go. Only that I want people to remember what you just said, Tony, that we currently have no mandates outside of the public buildings that you mentioned. This, of course, goes to the outdoor activities that folks are looking forward to in the fall. We will notify people in town if the state recommends or mandates otherwise. But until then, we support people engaging in outdoor activities and conducting themselves in a common sense, safe manner indoors, assessing the situation with regard to masks and ventilation and time indoors, as you referenced, Tony. Several folks have contacted me regarding what the town's mandates might be in the next several months. And I've told them, unfortunately, the best I can tell you is to stay tuned. Currently, as I said, we do not have mandates. And Nahant has, as we've said many times, has positioned itself as a community in a very good place. And we'd like to certainly keep it that way. And I'm glad the flu vaccines have arrived, and Deb can get to scheduling, conducting the fall flu vaccination clinics. I hope people will turn out in the same numbers as they turned out for the COVID-19 vaccines. Thank you.
And I'll just add one more thing, Mr. Chairman, if that's okay, is that while we talk about our community's vaccination rate and positive rate, the communities that we are surrounded by are not experiencing the same thing. And so, when you are traveling out of town to, go food shopping or clothes shopping or, restaurant or events or anything like that, you should be aware that our surrounding communities are seeing much higher rates of positive tests and much lower, or not much, but certainly lower vaccination rates. So make sure you're bringing your mask with you when you're heading out of town, especially as well.
Yeah. Hey, Deb and John, I might be fishing for a silver lining in an otherwise dark cloud about these breakthrough cases, but in the news I've been reading that the breakthrough cases people tend to get less sick. Is that something that you're seeing being borne out here?
Yes.
No, I know it's bad news to see all these cases, but I'm hoping that there's, some comfort for those people that did get vaccinated.
Right. So the people who are having the breakthrough cases, I haven't had any of those people that needed to be hospitalized. Some of them have very, very mild symptoms. Some of them have symptoms, they're describing it like they thought they just had allergies or a cold. And then they do develop a cough and fever for a couple of days, similar to the flu. But overall, they're recovering a little bit quicker than the first round. And like I said, none of them have had to have been hospitalized if they've been vaccinated. So yes, so that's why I think we're hearing on the news that even though so many people are having these breakthrough cases, the vaccine is preventing, which they said from the beginning, the vaccine would prevent hospitalizations and death from COVID. So I think that's something we have to keep in mind.
Hey, Debbie, what was the percentage of breakthroughs again versus the caseload you have open?
Well, I'd say pretty much out of the 19 that we have now, we probably have just 2 that are not eligible for vaccine. And so that would bring 17. And then we probably have 2 that are not vaccinated. So 15. So, right, that would be the rest of them. So probably 15 cases.
About 75% are breakthrough cases.
If I could, I'd like to add that our colleagues, our public health colleagues, are reporting the same things that Deb just mentioned, not only in our immediate area, but across northeastern Massachusetts and across Massachusetts in general, and New England. It's just proven to be a universal fact that the vaccines have high efficacy, high efficiency, and the people who do test positive are experiencing little to no hospitalizations. And so there's every indication that people should get vaccinated and encourage others to do so.
Absolutely.
I'd also I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, one more thing. I just being in my position, hearing a lot from folks who, may have tested positive or, are feeling sick, and, it just seems, folks tend to be so nervous about how people are going to respond to them potentially testing positive. And if I can just, spread a message that, folks engaging in social activity and ending up with COVID doesn't mean that they did something wrong. And so, I ask that people, show empathy, care for your neighbors, care for your friends and family. If they turn up positive, it's not a negative thing. It shouldn't be treated as a negative thing. It's an invisible virus that many people don't have symptoms, and it's hard to avoid. And being involved in social activities that may result in turning positive, isn't a negative thing. It's an unfortunate thing. So, that I tend to hear a lot about, just like off-cuff comments about folks turning positive and stuff. So, I just want to spread the message that people should, try to stay positive and care for one another when, if they're turning up positive. I think you're frozen, Josh. Yeah. Gene, Mark, you still with us?
I'm with you. Yep. Want me to go?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. I'll get into opening comments then. Want me to do that, Tony?
There's the West Nile update too that John was going to provide.
Okay, I want you to do that then.
Okay. The State Department of Public Health increased the risk level of a number of communities, including Nahant being in metropolitan Boston, to moderate. However, we've had no human cases, and we had one mosquito sample that tested positive for West Nile virus. However, the mosquitoes that were tested in that sample are known as bird biters. So the state and the Regional Mosquito Control Commission monitor the different types of mosquitoes to keep an eye on their population and the possibilities of spread. Now, we had our first human cases in the state And in the last couple of weeks, we've had 4 cases. And there have been 11 counties that have had mosquito samples that have tested positive. So it's not just Nahant or surrounding communities, but across the state. It is normal in early September to have this kind of data turn up. And people across the state are being urged to accept that West Nile is here and do not wait until we have positives in our community, but to stay vigilant, eliminate standing water on your property, particularly organically rich standing water. The Mosquito Control Commission works with the DPW at eliminating as much as possible the organically rich standing water in town. However, on our own properties, we need to look at tires, toys, bird baths, stopped up rain gutters and the like, where debris can collect. And it only takes a cup of water for the mosquitoes to breed. And it can be handled quite easily by dumping water once a week because they need a couple of weeks to fully form and become adults. There are risk maps for the state available at the state website. However, the more important thing to be looking at is what is happening on our own properties and nearby. This includes swimming pools that are not maintained. If somebody observes that situation, report it to us at Town Hall, and we'll have someone contact the owners to get rid of that standing fresh water that could be harboring mosquito breeding. I'm available for any questions at any time regarding the mosquito situation in town. Otherwise, I can leave it there.
All right, thanks, John. It's interesting that if you dump the water once a week, you should be okay because it takes a couple weeks for them to incubate or whatever the proper term is. So that's a good tip. I hadn't thought about that. So if that's it on the health topics, we can move on to opening comments. I'll start that. The compost area is open on Wednesday and Saturday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. A 2021 Nahant resident sticker is required. Visit nahant.org for acceptable materials. Leaves and other yard waste must be in biodegradable bags or no bags. No plastic bags will be accepted. Recycling for white goods, metal, TV, and computers is the last Saturday of each month from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. behind the DPW garage. Fees may apply. Checks only, no cash. Visit nahant.org for information and accepted materials. There is a September 11th Remembrance ceremony this Saturday, September 11th at 9:30 at the Nahant Fire Station.
It's actually starting at 10. That's
Okay.
a typo, sorry.
All right. Starting at 10. So there'll be some brief remarks and apparatus on display, moment of silence, bell ringing, lowering of the flag to half-mast, prayer by the chaplain, and firefighter's prayer. So that's at 10 o'clock this Saturday morning, September 11th. There is a swim annual autumn beach cleanup on Sunday, September 12th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Volunteers will meet at the Lowlands parking lot to sign in, pick up gloves and bags, and then head over to Short Beach and Doggy Beach to begin cleanup. Also, a reminder, the Makis Family YMCA Stride Along the Tide 5K road race is September 25th from 8:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. You can register at www.ymcametronorth.org, where you will find the run sign up registration link. There is a registration fee and the proceeds fund their scholarship program to low and moderate income families in the community. The race will begin at the Lowlands parking lot. Trash bills are due September 20th. If you have any questions, please contact the Treasurer Collector's Office at Town Hall. New business. We will vote to change the BOS meeting schedule to the fall, winter, spring schedule.
I move that
Yeah.
I move that the Board of Selectmen vote to change the meeting schedule to the fall, winter, spring schedule beginning in October to the first and third Thursdays of each month unless posted otherwise.
Second,
Any discussion? So really, this is just changing from the first and third Wednesday to the first and third Thursday. So that's really the only change in our schedule. Any discussion on this change?
did we ever get off the fall schedule?
Yeah, it's Wednesday today, so we're still on our summer schedule through the end of this month. So we have a meeting today, and then our next one is the 22nd, and then we'll switch to the fall schedule
Oh,
in
but
October.
you're right. I mean, we typically would, in the summertime, meet maybe once a month, but it has been a busy summer.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about frequency, Gene. Yeah, yeah. I don't think we've had any. I'm sure we haven't had any one meeting months. That's for sure.
No, not at all.
Uh,
Maybe an increase in salary.
Yeah. We'll see if that goes in FinCom's budget next year. All right, any more discussion? Roll call vote.
Gene Canty, aye.
Mark Cullen and I.
Josh Antrim, aye. We have some meeting minutes to approve.
Okay, I move that the Board of Selectmen vote to approve the Board of Selectmen meeting minutes from July 14th, 2021 and July 28th, 2021.
Second,
Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, roll call vote.
Gene Canty, aye.
Mark Cullen and I.
Josh Antrim, aye. Approve the appointment of assistant to the inspectors.
We can do these, Gene.
Yeah, sure. I move that the Board of Selectmen vote to approve the appointment of Catherine Sherber as the Assistant to the Inspectors effective August 30th, 2021.
Second.
Discussion. Well, obviously, this is retroactive. Catherine, also known as KK, will be taking over Kim Campos' position, or has taken over Kim Campos' position. KK is also on the Board of Assessors. And she's already started, I believe. She had a week of overlap with Kim. Is that right, Tony?
Yes. So Kim's been with the town for quite a few years now, and determined that it was her time to go, and gave us some notice, and we want to thank her for all of her work with the Inspectional Services Office. She was part of a transition of permitting programs and new policies in there, and really had a large impact. So we were certainly sad to see her go. And we had actually, had spoken with KK for other job opportunities in the town hall in the past. So with the quick turnaround and knowing that she was available, we reached out to KK, and she was, jumped at the opportunity to get involved. And with her background working for Patriot Properties, it's an extremely smooth transition, because they were that company overlaps with Permit Pro, with the program that we use for inspectional services. So KK was able to jump in and overlap with Kim for a week, and this week is her first week on her own, and we're excited about adding her to the team.
Excellent.
Yeah, thanks to Kim for all the years of service, and welcome KK. I see she's on the line. You want to unmute KK and say hello?
Yes, hi.
Hi.
I'm enjoying it so far. Kim was very helpful, and I'm very excited to join Tony's team.
Great. Well, welcome aboard. Thanks.
Thank you.
I just want to echo Josh, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank Kim for all of her work in bringing the Inspectional Services Department into the 20th century. She really did a lot over the number of years that she was here. And I want to welcome you, KK. So I'm sure you'll do a great job.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Likewise.
Okay, any other discussion? Hearing and seeing none, roll call vote.
Gene Canty, aye.
Mark Cullen and I.
Josh Antrim, aye. Next, we have approve an appointment of full-time firefighter. Gene, do you want to make this motion?
I move that the Board of Selectmen vote to approve the appointment of Doug Cronin as a full-time firefighter with the Nahan Fire Department.
I'll second that. And I am seconding because this is Mark's son-in-law. So are you going to abstain, Mark, from this vote?
I will abstain, yes.
All right. I know Doug's been call fireman, right, for a while? Is that right?
Yes, Doug joined the call fire department a couple years ago. Hasn't missed a training, hasn't missed a call, has, for lack of a better term, been bit by the bug of the profession, and you can tell that it was like a unintended destined future for Doug, that once he got involved in the call program, he knew it was something that he wanted to pursue full time. So we, as a civil service entity, we requested the list. Doug was at the top of that list, scored the highest on the test. We interviewed four candidates. All were great, but Doug just, you could tell his commitment to the department and to the town is long lasting, and he's extremely excited to get involved. And I can speak on behalf of Chief Antrim and Captain Beretta, and from what they tell me, the rest of the department, that they've been extremely proud of the progress that Doug has made as a call fireman, and are extremely excited to have him join the team. So as am I, and I appreciate your consideration approving this appointment. It's a conditional offer upon a couple more physical exams, PAT, and we will, if approved, we'll send this letter out to him tomorrow, get those scheduled, and he'll be starting immediately and going through the full-time academy within the next year.
Good. Is there any other discussion?
I don't know if Doug is on the line, Josh.
Yeah, so I was going to wait till we vote before we.
Just a congratulations from here to Doug.
Yeah, no, it's great that he's had the chance to get his feet wet with a couple of years as a call fireman, and obviously knows the department. So looking forward to having him aboard. And with that, let's take a roll call vote, Gene.
Gene Canty, aye.
Josh Antrim, aye. So now you're approved, Doug. Can we unmute you and say congratulations and thanks?
Yeah, I'm here. Appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. I'm very excited to serve the town of Nahant, and I look forward to a long, prosperous career in Nahant here.
Great. Good luck on the few remaining tests, and looking forward to seeing you on full time.
Thank you, sir.
Sounds like you might have a baby to tend to. Probably cranky after being watched by Mark all day.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, guys.
All right, great. Congratulations.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Doug.
Congratulations, Doug.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Okay, next item is vote to approve Nahant's single precinct authorization. All right, let's have the motion on this one.
Pursuant to MGL 54-6, the Board of Selectmen wish that Nahant, Mass stay a single precinct and hereby request the Secretary of the Commonwealth prepare a single precinct map on our behalf.
Second,
Discussion. Wasn't quite sure if we were gonna get to this today or not, but I saw Diane was on. Do you wanna explain this, Diane? Not to put you on the spot here, or if not, maybe you can enlighten us a little bit, Tony.
I'm asking the clerk to unmute.
All right.
I just speaking with her briefly, it's a standard procedure that occurs typically after the results of the census. We've always had one precinct, and it's just a procedural vote to keep it that way.
All right. Yeah, Diane, look, Diane's the clerk's unmuted, so. Anything to add, Diane? Maybe not, but yeah, I got the information a little bit late, so I didn't have a chance to bone up, but so it's just essentially just maintaining Nahant as a single voting precinct.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Any other discussion about that? Hearing, seeing none, roll call vote.
Gene Canty, aye.
Mark Cullen, aye.
Josh Antrim, aye. Next item is to vote on a buyback of a cemetery plot.
I move the Board of Selectmen vote to approve the requested buyback of the presented cemetery lot containing 2 cremation plots located in the southeast quadrant of the Green Lawn Cemetery for the original purchase price of $750 that was previously sold to William DiCarlo.
Second,
Discussion. So on the backup material, this is a couple of cremation plots that the family would like to sell back to the town. I certainly don't have any issue with that.
I believe, Mr. Administrator, that the town will accept it, but you can only sell it back for what the price of the lot is, correct? You can't make a real estate deal here.
Right. It's the price that they purchased it for whenever they made the purchase.
Right.
But it does require a Board of Selectmen vote.
All right. I think in the documentation, they were looking to buy a couple more, sell these 2 and buy 2 that were closer to their family plots. I recall that comes later, I guess. Is there any other discussion on this? Hearing and seeing none, roll call vote.
Gene Canty, aye.
Mark Cullen, aye.
Josh Antrim, aye. Vote to schedule a special town meeting. Do we have a motion?
I move that the Board of Selectmen vote to order a special town meeting to be held on Monday, September 27, 2021 in the main hall at the Nahant Town Hall, 334 Nahant Road, beginning at 7 p.m.
Second,
Discussion. I'll say a few words. This is a special town meeting to approve additional funding for the sewer repairs. The bids for the sewer repair from the Rotary to the Lynn's Water and Sewer Plant came in higher than expected, beyond the funds that have previously been approved to borrow. And we had a joint meeting with FinCom last week, and we think the right thing to do is, rather than delay further, have this special town meeting in order to secure enough funds to get this job done. We're under some pressure. Well, we think that, delaying will only add to costs potentially, and we also have a DEP requirement to meet certain deadlines due to past sewer main breaks on that stretch. So there's a lot of incentive to get this done sooner rather than later. I don't know if you have anything you want to add, Tony?
Yeah, having a special town meeting is something that we try to avoid at all costs. If it wasn't, absolutely essential, I think we would be preferring to hold off and wait until the spring. However, given the circumstances, it's, it would be more cost effective and prevent us from potentially violating, required dates in the administrative consent order from Mass DEP. It also allows us to take advantage of the bids that we received. While the bids are over the estimated budget, they're good bids and good companies. I want to emphasize that the town has taken every step possible to approach this issue, in a cost-effective way. We've studied the issue. We have explored alternatives. We've determined what the best option was for the town. We procured engineers, even though it's not required, to get the best, cost-effective option for the town. Came up with a great estimate. And when we went to the town in September of 2020 for the last borrowing, the economic factors that are in place today did not exist. So, the long story short is that, this project coming in over the projected budget, isn't a story of the town, making a misstep. It's just the unfortunate condition of the current, supply chain issue that anybody is experiencing, whether you're remodeling a bathroom, building a patio, or dealing with a sewer project like this. So, unfortunately, the price of construction right now is through the roof, and the supply is through the floor. So we are, we're a victim of that circumstance, and we're facing a new challenge. And we hope that, with this, if this town meeting approves the article of the additional borrowing, we'll be right back on track, making the progress that, we've set as our number one priority years ago. So it's certainly, again, it's not a preference to have a special town meeting or to be dealing with this challenge, but here we are. And I'm happy that, the board and the FinCom and the moderator and the clerk and, everybody's on board with continuing to move forward. So, hopefully we meet our 75-person quorum. We'll make every effort possible to have the space be safe in terms of, COVID conditions. And hopefully it's a quick meeting with only one article, and we can get in and out of there and like I said, continue to make progress on this issue.
Yes.
I would just add, Tony, that I agree with you 100%, and I support your effort here. the price will not go down. I don't think it makes any sense to try to rebid this, given the current situation. And particularly if this new infrastructure bill passes, these large infrastructure contractors, we name them their own price. We lucky to even get a bid. So I think this is the right move. Did you mention that we'll be borrowing a low interest state approved loan?
I did mention that. So in September of 2020, the town authorized a $4.6 million borrowing through the Clean Water Revolving Fund. And essentially what that gives us is a 2% interest rate on a 20-year borrowing. If the town were to do the borrowing on our own, it would be 3.5% interest rate. So over that, by going through this program, we reached out, once we got the results of this bid, we reached out to DEP and asked them if it was possible to increase our previous award from September of 2020. And they said it was. So with that additional borrowing, in this article of $3 million, it'll save us, by going through this program, it'll save us, around $500,000.
And we sort of jumped ahead to the next item, which is, opening the warrant and I think what we're going to ask for at town meeting, but maybe how about we vote on this special town meeting and then get into some of the particulars, financial particulars on the next agenda item.
Gene Canty, aye.
Mark Cullen, aye.
Josh Antrim, aye. All right, so the next item is related, which is a vote to open and close the special town meeting warrant. We have a motion there.
Mark,
Sure. I move that the Board of Selectmen vote to accept and close the warrant for the special town meeting that is to be held on Monday, September 27th, 2021 at the Nahant Town Hall, 334 Nahant Road, Nahant, Mass, and to send it to the Advisory and Finance Committee to begin taking positions with the understanding that ongoing review will occur by the Board of Selectmen and that modifications may occur at a later time.
second.
Okay, discussion. So yeah, I just wanted to, so Tony, you mentioned that we'll be seeking an additional $3 million. I just wanted to point out that $3 million, if it all comes from that state loan program, works kind of like a construction loan. In other words, we don't take a $3 million loan right out of the chute. We submit invoices as they come in, and the state reimburses to those invoices. Correct?
Correct. Exactly right. So it only, except for the fact that it's this article is asking for 3 million. We currently have authorization for 4.6 when it was approved in September of 2020. So should this article pass, that'll bring our total budget through this low interest loan program up to 7.6. We have $2.4 million left in the original borrowing that the town conducted in 2018. So when you add all that together, we will have a total budget of $10 million, which this project came in at $8,831,287. So, it's common that, you can expect potential cost overruns during a project. So that provides us, with 10 million, it provides us 1.2 additional dollars above the projected cost of the, above the bidded cost of this job. So We also have other items in the administrative consent order that DEP is requiring us to improve, and that's related to II issues. I can get into explaining what that is, and also improvements to the other sewer stations in town, the main on Ward Road, and then plus the other satellite sewer stations around town. So we're asking for this for this authorization so that we'll have a total budget of 10 million. The bulk of it'll go towards the project on the Linway from the rotary to the treatment plant. Anything beyond that will go towards other items required of us by DEP through the administrative consent order. And the way that it works is that we will, as you said, you submit invoices to the state, they approve it and reimburse you, or they pay you for the total of that invoice. It's not, they don't give us $10 million up front.
Right, and these other tasks beyond the Linway sewer job are important. The I&I, which addresses non-sewer water leaking into our sewer system, is a very important project because if, let's say, groundwater leaks into sewer pipes via cracked pipes or some other way, that goes on our sewer bill because we get charged by the gallon, whether it's truly sewage or not. So yes, it's part of DEP's administrative consent order, but it's also good for Nahant to get these things fixed. Same thing with the improvements to the pumping station. So definitely a smart move to include extra, smart and required move to include a little cushion on the minimum bid of the 8.8 million. So
Tony, based on everything going right and everything being approved, what do you think's the estimated start date on this?
Likely mid-October, and the goal would be to have the project completed by the end of the calendar year.
Yeah, that would be good. That'd be great.
just wanted to add that, the first thing that, by the way, the low bid contractor is Gioso. They're currently doing some other work on some other sewer work on the Linway for, I think, the city of Lynn. But the first thing they do is run a parallel pipe, a bypass pipe. So as soon as that is in operation, sort of the risk of unexpected failures in the main buried pipe go away. So hopefully we won't be getting any robocalls from you, Tony, after mid-October about sewer main breaks on the Linway. And the whole process will be invisible to the users here in Nahant. So there'll be no interruption in the sewage system function during that 3 months or so of construction.
There's a question in the chat. Does it require some kind of override? The answer to that is no. This is a borrowing article. If authorized by the town, we will go through this low interest program in order to pay for the project. The payments on that debt, as currently set up, is a debt shift. It's not a voted override, but it's a debt shift that floats on top of your real estate bill. So that's the way that the town has been handling our sewer infrastructure needs for a few years.
So on that topic, we have what's called a water and sewer enterprise, meaning that function is supposed to be self-supported by our water bills. But we do regularly have this debt shift or debt transfer every year from the general funds to this enterprise fund. And obviously, most of the general funds are funded by real estate tax. And that means that entities that don't pay real estate tax are not carrying the same financial burden that the taxpayers are. So as we take on this significant and future capital expenses, I think we should request a contribution from these entities. And I'm referring primarily to Northeastern, which is the largest landowner in the town of Nahant. I think we should be fair across the board rather than continuing to give certain entities a break on these substantial capital costs. So maybe this is something that the Finance and Advisory Committee could consider and make a recommendation on a path forward. To me, it's correcting something that has been an imperfect system for quite a while now, and I think it's important to treat everybody fairly and uniformly.
Mr. Chairman, before we make a vote, I believe, if I remember correctly, I think Mark read the motion to close the warrant versus open the warrant. And we don't want another call from bond counsel, so can we just make sure the correct motion is out there?
I think I read the motion to accept and close.
Well, we have to open it, right?
Yeah,
And then accept and close.
yeah. So
We voted special town meeting, but not to open the warrant.
you're right, Dan. We voted
Let me
to have
back
a
up.
special meeting. Yep.
Let me back up then. I move that the Board of Selectmen vote to open the warrant for the special town meeting that is to be held on Monday, September 27th, 2021 at the Nahan Town Hall, 334 Nahan Road, beginning at 7 p.m.
Seconded.
Second,
Okay. Any discussion on the opening of the town warrant beyond what we just discussed?
You should be seeing the article on your screen. Is that correct? Can you see it?
Oh, yes, I can, now that I have my glasses on. Yeah, thank you. I'll read it for those that aren't on Zoom. Article 1, sewer capital, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate $3 million or any other greater or lesser amount to pay the cost of repairing and or replacing portions of the town's sewer collection system, including the payment of all costs incidental and related thereto, and to determine whether this amount shall be raised by borrowing or otherwise, including by borrowing all or any portion of this amount through the Massachusetts Clean Water Trust, or to take any action relative thereto. So that's the motion. That's the article, excuse me.
So that's discussion. So have you voted? So the motion on the table is to open the warrant, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
So I would go ahead and vote on that.
All right, roll call vote.
Gene Canty, aye.
Come on, I.
Josh Hedrum, aye. Okay,
Now you should.
Did we properly second those two motions?
Yeah.
yep.
Okay,
And now the next motion should be to accept and close and send to the FinCom the recommendation. And now the next motion should be.
I move that the Nahan Board of Selectmen vote to accept and close the warrant for the special town meeting that is to be held on Monday, September 27th, 2021 at the Nahan Town Hall, 334 Nahan Road, Nahan, Mass, and to send it to the Advisory and Finance Committee to begin taking positions with the understanding that ongoing review will occur by the Board of Selectmen and that modifications may occur at a later time.
second,
Any discussion? I'll just add that Advisory and Finance Committee has a meeting tomorrow night to discuss this, to help support meeting the scheduled date of September 27th. They will have to prepare recommendations and in the book, and that book has to get mailed out, and the book has to be at everyone's home 7 days in advance of the town meeting. So they have a bit of work to do in a short period of time, and they will get started on that tomorrow night.
I just want to add, Mr. Chairman, I want to thank Tony for pulling all this together at such a short notice and bringing in the FinCom and setting all that up. He did a great job putting it together.
Yeah, good organization, include the town moderator and town clerk. So yeah, well done, Tony.
Thank you.
Likewise here, Tony.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any
Appreciate
further
your
discussion?
support.
Hey, does that, no, never mind.
Okay, hearing and seeing no further discussion, roll call vote.
Gene Canty, aye.
Mark Cullen and I.
Josh Antrim, aye. All right, ongoing business. We have the RNAV letter to Massport. We've seen a few drafts. Email
I can-
back and forth.
I can read it or share it or on the screen.
Sure, and while you pull
What's
that
your
up,
preference?
yeah, why don't you share it on your screen? This is for people that don't know, this is a letter coming from the town administrator about this new flight path approach to runway 22L, which brings a proposed flight path closer to Little Nahant than it currently is. So if you can share that, Tony, maybe it already is.
So I can read this out loud here. If the board has any, recommended edits, I'm happy to make them live here. The idea originally on this letter was to set it up as a petition so that other residents could sign on. So we may add that at the end in some manner. And the reason we had it on for tonight's agenda was because the next public hearing was scheduled for the 18th, I believe. Is that right, Dan?
Well, it was for the 15th. They just changed it today to the 23rd.
Okay, so
And it's actually, it's not a hearing. They call it a hearing, but it's actually an information session.
so the goal would be to have this finalized, put on our website, and allow for residents to sign on if they wish, and get this submitted before that meeting or session.
Right, there was quite a bit of discussion on this topic at the last meeting, and we committed to having this letter and the capability of having people sign it as a petition available today. My only edit is about what you're about to do, and beyond that, in my look at it this afternoon, it looked okay.
All right, so this letter is addressed to the CEO of Massport, Lisa Weiland. Ms. Weiland, I am reaching out to you as town administrator of the town of Nahant. This is a letter of concern regarding the potential modification to the current design of RNAV 22L. At the moment, RNAV 22L is a straight-in approach tethered to various arrivals by radar vectors. This version of RNAV 22L should have no effect on Nahant, but flights being vectored over Nahant are common occurrences. Making matters worse, the suggested modification to RNAV 22L would create a left dogleg at or about the final approach fix. This would bring the standard flight path much closer to Nahant and will exacerbate our noise impact. Our citizen issues are as follows. Despite the goal of identifying options providing relief to residents impacted by the aircraft noise on RNAV 22L, The recommended change will result in a substantial increase of noise impact to the residents of Nahant due to RNAV 22L. Given the proximity to KBOS, Nahant is already bombarded by aircraft on visual approaches to 22L and 22R. For example, Cape Air regularly passes over Nahant, and occasionally JetBlue E190s will cut over Nahan as well. Just last week, an A350 was directed to fly over Nahant to increase separation from a Dreamliner that was directed to go around due to congestion. See enclosure. We know of no actual test flight for the modified RNAV. Such a flight scheduled would provide an opportunity to actually see, hear the proposed approach. Nahant supports noise mitigation for dense, highly populated communities. However, we believe there is a better way to accomplish this goal without simply moving the noise to another municipality. To that end, we intend to have residents attend the Zoom information session on September 23rd, 2021, when MIT will provide its Block 2 recommendations. More importantly, we would like someone from your office to attend a meeting of the Board of Selectmen to respond to concerns directly. We look forward to your response. So essentially what this letter is saying is the current approach to 22L does not go over the causeway, and yet we are continually experiencing flights flying over the town of Nahant, causing, negative impacts to our residents. And the proposal would bring that flight path closer to Nahant, increasing that negative impact. And we have concerns about that. So we'd like to discuss them with Massport, some alternative options. We also would like to schedule a test flight of their current propose and know when that's going to occur, and have, hopefully have someone from Massport out here in Nahant for when that occurs as well, so that we can in real time experience the proposal that they are putting forth. And finally, we'd like them to attend a meeting here, in the town or at a Nahant Board of Selectmen meeting, so that they can present the changes and hear from our residents directly as to what those concerns are.
If I could, just to add to that, Tony and I had a discussion today, and I was happy to hear that he and I both had our eyes to the sky over the weekend. And almost everything was coming either directly over Little Nahant, over Big Nahant. There were a couple of flights that were, and Dan, you'd know this better, probably, as they say, 1,000 feet off the deck. They were that low, and big planes, jumbo jets. And that's something that, we're going to be experiencing more and more if we don't get this petition signed and step up and have these meetings with Massport. It's a problem.
Yeah. And we do want to encourage people, independent of this particular issue, when there is a low flying aircraft or an aircraft that's off the flight path, to register that complaint with Massport. We shared that phone number last time, do we happen to have that handy? Or that?
I don't have it, but I can look it up real quick.
Yeah, or put it on the website, or.
Tony, can we sign this letter online?
That's how I want to do it, is basically post it on our website for anybody in town that would like to sign on to it.
Hey, Dan, just a quick question, because you're the expert at this. What brings a plane that big in that low?
Well, what could be a bunch of things. Most likely there was congestion. We all noticed that there was a big 738 that was 1,200 feet, as you mentioned, over the deck on Monday afternoon. And I went back and listened to the ATC chatter, and it seemed like that was just, they were just a vector. They were trying to, what's the word? They're trying to just coordinate the planes that come in at different time periods. So my guess is that's why it was so low and so close to us on Monday.
Okay. That was right down there.
Boy, that got your attention, let me tell you.
It sure did.
But the information session is coming up on the 23rd. And I can forward to Tony the notice of the information session so folks can jump on the Zoom portal so they can they participate in the public comment portion of that information section. 23rd. And I can forward to Tony the notice of the information session. So
Mr. Mahovan, I can see you unmuting and that you would like to contribute to the conversation, but there's you must have us on your TV because we're getting an echo. So if you'd like to contribute to the conversation, just give me a minute here. And when you do come off you mute, maybe lower your TV. Mr. Chairman, I haven't, it's up to you when you'd like to switch over to comments from the other folks on the call, but was there any other edits or comments to the letter from the board before doing that?
I didn't have any, but I don't know if Mark and Jean have had a chance to sort of go through it, but maybe we can get you.
Looks good. I'm supportive of it.
And the Massport noise complaint line is 617-561-3333. I just added it in the chat. So 617-561-3333 is the Massport noise complaint line.
People can click the little bubble at the bottom of the screen that says chat to see that number.
Okay. Mr. Mahovan, I'm asking you to unmute. I believe I'm sure you want to add to the conversation.
Mr. Mahovan still showing as muted.
Mm-hmm. Here we go.
There we go.
I'm here. I don't know if they can hear me or not.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I can't hear you. I don't think. If you can hear me, I just want to say that I really like what you guys done. Sounded great. I could add just one thing, maybe if that's not the final draft of that letter, if you could write in that runway 4 right bombards Little Nahant. So you could add that for the noise that we have gotten or get every day almost. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit out of breath trying to find my clicker to the TV. But that's excuse me. Awesome show. The letter's fantastic, and the petition is a real good, good idea. I hurt my back when just about the time I wanted to get that petition out on my own, so I kind of dropped the ball on my part. So I kind of feel bad on my end that I couldn't go around getting the petition signed to my part. So I'm kind of glad that you guys did what you said you were going to do and get that petition signed online. So if I can figure out how to sign it online, I'd like to be one of the first ones to sign it online. Because I really don't know how to do that yet, but I do have a neighbor because my son's out in California and he's the one that's computer savvy. I have a neighbor that's computer savvy and hopefully he'll be able to show me how to do it online. So again, I applaud what you have done. I love the letter. And again, if you could add that runway 4 right impacts us terribly over here, to add a little more ammunition to that letter, it would be great. And again, I applaud you for what you've done. And you definitely guys had my back like you said you would. And I applaud the letter. And again, we'll get my name on that petition as soon as I can figure out how to do it. Again, congratulations, did a great job.
Mr. Mahovan, thank you for your words.
Hope you heard all that.
We can hear, I don't know if you can hear us, but
I don't understand why I can't hear you guys.
All right, well, we heard you, George, and thanks for the kind words. And certainly when the letters are
Yeah.
available to be signed, we encourage you to encourage others to add their names to the petition as well.
Well, that I can do because I do see my neighbors. I think I got you now. I can hear you. I see my neighbors walking by and their pets and so on and so forth. So that I can do, encourage people to
All
sign
right,
the
we'll
petition.
figure out how to add in the sentence you suggested as well.
Yeah, and how would I go about finding that petition online?
So if you can send me your email, just shoot me an email so I have yours.
Okay, I believe
my email is-
I've already signed up for the email for the town already, but I guess I can send it to
Well,
you.
I'll send you a personal email when it gets posted with directions on how to sign on.
Okay,
I don't have those yet, and we'll obviously post that publicly too, but
Yeah.
I can shoot you those via email. Just shoot me an email at abarletta, BARLETTA @nahant.org.
okay, great. Thank you very much. And again, I can't say again how great that letter is. It really kind of hits the nail right on top of the head.
All right, great. All right. Let's see, was there a vote there? We don't really have a vote on this. It's just this is just a follow-up. So we'll get that letter posted, Tony, and figure out how to do electronic signatures.
Exactly.
Yep. All right, so the next item on the agenda is the vote to award the Nahant Sewer Force Main contract to P. Gioso and Sons, Inc. So this is switching back to our sewer topic.
I move that the Nahant Board of Selectmen vote to approve that P. Gioso and Sons, Inc. receive the bid award for the Nahant Sewer Force Main contract.
Second,
Can I actually suggest a amended version of that motion? We technically can't award the contract, so because we don't have the funds yet authorized. So do you mind, Selectman Cronin, maybe amending that to make it a conditional award upon
Okay.
the authorization of funds for the project? Something along those lines?
I move that the Nahant Board of Selectmen vote to conditionally approve the contract for P. Genosi and Sons, Inc. for the bid award for Nahant Sewer Force Main pending appropriation at the special town meeting.
Perfect.
seconded.
Discussion. You want to say anything about this bid, Tony?
So we, as we mentioned before, we had 3 bids. All 3 were of qualified contractors, excellent contractors. Gioso was the lowest bid at 8.8 million. The next bid was Albanese at 10.8 million, and the highest bid was Grenice at 12.9 million. Where, I believe Gioso is able to be a little bit more competitive because he has the other work that's going to be occurring next year on the Linway. So we get the benefit of that situation. And again, I think that, while we had a $7 million budget and a projected cost of 6.8 million, we're just falling victim of the current economic conditions, and that's why the bids came in high. But it is a good bid, it's a good contractor, and I'm happy that you guys are, I'm happy that the board is voting to provide this conditional award. It sends the right message to the contractor that we're making every effort to get to a point where we can move forward on this project.
And just recapping what happened in our meeting last week with joint meeting between the Board of Selectmen and Finance Advisory and Finance Committee. you engaged, Tony, engaged Wright Pierce engineering firm to sort of review that bid and sort of vet the credentials of PGO So and Sons, and reputable firm, and all recommendations were positive.
Yes, absolutely. They had all the correct paperwork. They're a reputable firm. They meet they check every box as part of, as required by the procurement. And they're very capable of meeting the deadline on this project.
All right, so any further discussion on this motion? Hearing and seeing none, roll call vote.
Gene Canty, aye.
Mark Cullen, aye.
Josh Antrim, aye. The next item on the agenda is preserving East Point. We'll have a discussion and a possible vote here. We actually have a motion.
Let me read the motion, then we can have the discussion, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, please.
Right. I move that let me start again. I move that the Board of Selectmen adopt and execute an order of intention to take conservation easement by eminent domain pursuant to Chapter 80A, declaring the town's intention to acquire easements on property owned by Northeastern University. The order of intention to take conservation easement by eminent domain dated September 8th, 2021, and hereby estimate damages for said taking to be $2,210,000 as indicated in the order of intentions to take, and to execute any and all other agreements and/or documents related thereto, and further to allow the Board of Selectmen chair to approve any minor non-substantive changes to said order of intentions to take prior to the recording thereof.
Seconded.
Discussion. I have a few words to say. So at the annual town meeting, May 15th, 2021, the voters of Nahant voted 647 to 241 in favor of authorizing the Board of Selectmen to execute eminent domain as a means of preserving as a publicly accessible conservation land, approximately 12.5 acres of land at East Point, currently zoned natural resource area. As representatives of the citizens of Nahant, the Board of Selectmen share this commitment to preserving and caring for Nahant's limited open natural resource areas. Tonight, the Board of Selectmen will vote on this order of intention to take conservation easement by eminent domain to preserve these 12.5 acres as conservation land. These votes will be taken to ensure this land is preserved in the manner expected by the people of Nahant when they voted on May 15th, 2021, and when they voted to designate this area as a natural resource area over 30 years ago. This order of intention is an 11-page legal document. However, the following excerpt captures what I think are some of the key elements of the order of intention. This is a quote from the document. The purpose of this taking is to preserve the East Point easement areas in perpetuity in their natural, scenic, and open condition, and to protect against the use, of any East Point easement areas that will interfere with the conservation values of said property. The public benefits resulting from the conservation of the East Point easement areas include without limitation, preservation of open space for the use and enjoyment of the general public, the creation of an expanded Henry Cabot Lodge Jr. Memorial Park the town has owned, park on town-owned land immediately abutting the East Point easement areas, the protection of the scenic and natural beauty and character of the East Point easement areas, the protection of wildlife habitat, biodiversity, prevention of pollution, and the protection of public passive recreational use of land. So that's, in a nutshell, the intent of this order of intention. The next steps in the process are defined by the provisions of Chapter 80A of the Massachusetts General Law. Under the guidance of a judge at Salem Superior Court, a three-person commission is formed to determine the compensation value of the conservation easement. The town and the property owner may submit documentation to aid the commission in making this determination. It is expected that the commission will take approximately 8 months to determine the required compensation. Once the value is determined, the Board of Selectmen can make the decision to proceed with acquiring the conservation easement with the use of the funds approved during annual town meeting. An appeal process by either side may occur. So those are my notes on the topic. Gene, Mark, any additional comment?
I think you covered it very well, Mr. Chairman. Over 75% of the town meeting authorized the Board of Selectmen to do this. I think it's our obligation to follow through with that authorization.
And Josh, I think the crux of what you just read is what really this is all about.
Yeah, I think it's a good investment in the town. We do have very limited open spaces here, and a publicly accessible park will be, I think, a great addition to the town of Nahant. So.
I just want to add one more thing, Mr. Chairman. We've been at this now close to 4 years, and I really want to thank all of the people in town who have really stepped up to try to make this happen, to educate the town, to let us know, the consequences here, and just they did a great job. And a small town was up against some big odds, but they really stepped up, and I want to really thank them for their community support and their authorization at town meeting.
Well said, Mark.
Yeah, there's certainly a very strong commitment in this town to conservation and preservation. And yes, thanks to all those folks that did that. And speaking as a member of this board and representative of the people in Nahant, I look forward to a Nahant where the preservation of open space for the use and enjoyment of the general public is ensured in perpetuity. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, roll call vote.
Gene Canty, aye.
Mark Cullen and I.
Josh Antrim, aye. Okay. Next on the agenda is the town administrator's report.
First of all, before I get to there, just congratulations. As you mentioned, echoing the comments of Selectman Cullen in there, and to you, Mr. Chairman, and also Selectman Canty. I know that for each one of you have spent countless hours and time on getting to the point where we just did tonight. And you guys should be commended for that. And I just want to echo those comments. The first thing on my list is outdoor movie night. We were able to have a outdoor movie night last Friday. We have another one this Friday. It starts at 7:30 p.m. behind the Flash Road fire station. We will be showing Toy Story. I want to thank Ocean View of Nahant for their donations in the equipment to make this possible. I also want to thank the PTO for taking care of the concessions that are available for purchase. So I encourage anyone that's looking for it's going to be a beautiful night. Bring your lawn chair and blanket and come on down to the fire station and enjoy Toy Story at 7:30 on Friday. Also, our bylaw regarding dogs on public beaches, prohibiting them during the summer months, ends on September 30th. However, it should be noted that, even on the other beaches, while you can bring dogs on the other beaches now, they still need to be on leash. It's only the doggy beach that you can be off leash. And that starts, the current rule ends September 30th. Other happenings in town, people who drive around town may have noticed, Spring Road and Flash Road basketball courts have been slowly making progress. Spring Road Court in front of the compost site certainly has taken longer. We've been dealing with some delay in delivery of our hoops, but the court has been paved and painted. The vegetation's been cut back. A new fence has been installed. And, soon in the next week or two, we're expecting delivery of those hoops, get them installed. And we also have some trees being planted thanks to Swim, which are going to help beautify the area as well. And, when that happens, hopefully we get to have a nice ribbon cutting. We are a tree city community now, so celebrate, our first tree planting as a tree city. And, see what you guys have on the court as well. We'll maybe have a quick pickup game. Flash Road courts are under construction. The project started this past week, and they're moving very quickly. We've gotten a lot of calls or stop-ins at the town hall asking, what's going on down there, or what's it going to look like. We just ordered a sign to be installed down there to show a graphic of what the future court's going to look like. It's an exact, it's just a renovation of the current courts. So what was there before, you have a basketball court and then 2 tennis courts. The new part of it is that we've included pickleball lines in the tennis court. Folks will be able, we're trying to accommodate, with the limited space that we have, we're trying to accommodate as many different, athletes or enthusiasts as possible. And that area there will be able to accommodate pickleball, and those posts will actually be removable as well. So if you wanted to do a, street hockey or something like that, we could do that too. That project is estimated to be completed by the end of October. So very excited about both of those projects making progress, and looking forward to the ribbon cuttings on both those sites. Lastly, recycling barrels have been delivered. If you did not receive a barrel, please reach out to the town hall. If you received too many barrels, please reach out to the town hall. We are currently working on, we're keeping a list of those who are interested in purchasing a second barrel. And we are awaiting delivery of smaller barrels as well for, elderly and disabled that, may have difficulty dealing with the larger 65-gallon trash barrel. So if you're interested, you can call the town hall now, get your name on a list. And then once those become available, second barrel will have a cost to it. A smaller barrel will not. But when we have that finalized, when we have those in stock, we will, reach out to those on our list, and we'll make a public announcement.
Tony,
Yes.
yeah, question that's been asked. If those barrels are considered to be too big for let's say the elderly, is it correct that they can't use the old blue buckets?
Yes. So what we have is we ordered a smaller 35-gallon barrel that's, for the elderly and disabled. But the ones that they delivered violated the terms of the grant agreement because they were not produced with recycled material. So they are producing another batch of the smaller ones for us that, can be paid for with the grant. And as soon as we get those, we will make an announcement and distribute them based on request.
Oh, that's excellent. That's great. Hey, another question with the Spring Road, the recreation area. Probably an hour before I come up or went on to Zoom, I had a couple of calls asking about pickleball. So you just answered that, and I think you're going to have some happy campers because that's a fast-growing sport. And this is working out perfectly. The only other question I had is, how about the flood elevation there? Is that raised up or does that stay at the same level it's been at?
We had to go through the Concom. The thing that we don't want to elevate it because we don't want to disperse water, elsewhere. We don't want to create a negative impact on the surrounding area. But the drainage and the foundation of that court is going to be much improved compared to what was there, what was built 30 years ago. So we shouldn't have, the other court lasted, quite a while, but 30 years is a good time, but it started to shift and crack, and we're improving that foundation and drainage that it shouldn't, we should get more than 30 years, but anyway.
Excellent, thanks.
Tony, I can't tell you how happy I am to see those two projects in particular getting started. Spring Road looks great. That Flash Road site has, been non-functional for a long time. It's so exciting. Same thing. I think I saw some new siding going on the housing on Spring Road, part of a CPA funded project. I know this fall we're going to get started on the removal of invasive species on the I'm blanking on the name of the bunker. Not Bailey's Hill, but Gardner bunker.
Fort
Ruckman bunker. So Zach's been working with the Open Space Committee on that, and just the movie nights. It's so exciting to see a renaissance in Nahant. Really, I know we got some improvements to the Little Nahant playground coming up too. So some really great things happening in town, and just makes me really happy to see it.
And all, as you mentioned, CPC funded. So, we're getting a match of, I see Lynn Spencer on the call, so I hope to get this right, but I think we're getting a match of like 60% or more this year.
69, I think it was.
Yeah, so those dollars, are going a long way for us.
Yeah, obviously, I didn't mention the work on the library and town hall and the cemetery as well. So
and the softball fields too.
Yeah, that's already completed. So many great things happening, and happy to see stuff that the playgrounds in particular, for the kids to enjoy and stuff. So it's great, and the pickleball for the old folks, I guess.
I know. I hope we have a pickleball league emerging.
I might need a 7-foot hoop down at the Spring Road playground if so I can dunk.
I know.
We'll make it adjustable.
Yeah, that's what I need. All right. So I think we have a citizens forum scheduled. I see Cora's hands up.
All
Any,
right.
any chat entries? See Deb's hand up. So if you want to make any comments in citizens forum, you can enter something in the chat or ask to be unmuted.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, yes, thank you to CPC for all the funding. The playgrounds do look great. So I have a question regarding the Flash Road courts. You said, Tony, it's going to be the 2 existing tennis courts and the basketball court. So what research has been done as far as tennis and pickleball? Because from what I understand from the tennis players, the double lining do not work. They don't like playing on a court that's lined for pickleball also. So I'm just curious of, has there been research put into that?
Yeah, so let me pull up a graphic of what it's going to look like. While I'm looking for that, combining tennis courts and pickleball courts is actually quite common across municipalities because so many of us have limited space. And it's definitely doable. The lines of a pickleball court fit within a tennis court. The height of the net is different. However, you can lower the height of the tennis net, or there's a strap that comes with the net that you can basically put around the center of the net to lower the center height of it. So it's not uncommon for municipalities to, create a dual use.
Right.
Here's, I don't know, can you see this?
Yes.
So you can see the lines, within the tennis court there. Those orange or pink lines there are the pickleball lines.
And they're the dimensions of one tennis court with the 2 pickleball lines in there?
I don't understand the question, sorry.
So the dimensions of a tennis court, you can fit 4 pickleball courts. So the dimensions
Yeah.
of this is just 2 separated on half a court?
So in order to fit 2 pickleball courts on one tennis court, you'd have to shift the angle of the net. You'd have to rotate it 90 degrees. So by doing it this way, you don't have to change the net. You don't have to add other posts. You don't have to have another net. You just simply have to lower the height of the net. So you can do it this way or the other way. This to us seemed like a better option for just having to lowering the existing net.
Okay. And I guess my last question is, I'm assuming that there was a survey done and there was a need for a 3rd basketball court in town, as opposed to 2 basketball courts and 2 pickleball and 2 tennis.
Nope, we didn't do a survey. We're just renovating the existing courts that are in town. We're not creating any new courts other than the pickleball, really.
Relining. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, I guess my last question is there an appetite for some more funding from CPC next year for maybe a overhang or some lighting for the courts, or maybe some private fundraising that can be done to put some lighting down there, or is that already in the works?
There's lighting. Lighting is already installed. We were able to, when we did the LED conversion project, we changed the floodlights that surrounded these courts. We haven't turned them on yet because the courts, are in such bad shape. So once the courts are finished, we're probably going to create some type of automatic on-off switch, have them shut down by a certain time at night. But so the lighting's actually already there.
Great, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Cora, what about the covering for the courts? That was another thing we had a question about. So that we could play either in inclement weather or, you know, even during the winter.
What kind of covering do you mean? Like a roof?
I don't know. We have other friends that play pickleball that figured out a tent for winter playing. So I'll have to ask them. And let you know.
It's an interesting concept. It's not part of the current design or project, but it's certainly an interesting concept that we can, look into for the future.
Potential.
Okay. Yeah, my other question is, some of us have been playing pickleball in Marblehead and Salem and now in Nahant a little bit, and we've already got quite a good group going. So I will advocate for more pickleball courts at some point, if we can get that done. My other question is based on the map that you shared with us. Do you have, it doesn't look like there's any kind of fence between the two tennis and pickleball courts. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, because where we play, where it's just pickleball, it tends to go in other, people tend to hit it in other courts. So in the other pickleball courts that we play in, that's why they have each court. They have a little fence so that the balls aren't flying all over the place. So that might be one thing you might want to consider, is just one, it doesn't have to be a high fence, but just a fence in between the two tennis and pickleball courts.
Sure. Again, not included in the current design. We just were, mimicking what was there in the past. I don't see why that couldn't be potentially installed in the future. It's not in the current budget, but again, another, good idea for us to consider for the future.
Well, pickleball will take over the world. That's just it's just my 2 cents.
Good. I hope it does. I'm a huge supporter of, improving the recreational opportunities. I mean, if anything, in the past year and a half, we have realized that getting outside is, the healthier way to be. So I'm a huge proponent of it. And, I think that I don't know if you took part in the open space survey, but that was, it's closed now, but I think they're meeting tomorrow night. And they're all reachable. You can always reach out to them, but they're going through a open space master plan process right now. And, that's something that you might want to, submit your comments to about, that we should be looking at development of additional pickleball courts in other areas of town, something for them to consider.
I will do that. Thank you.
Any other comments in the chat, or anyone else want to chime in? Mark Cullen has his hand raised.
Yeah.
I was muted for some reason, so that's all. I'm all set now. Thank you, Cronin.
Anything else? Anybody else want to comment verbally? B. Rogers has her hand raised.
Yep. B, do you want to unmute?
Yeah, just, you mentioned about the smaller recycle bins.
Mhm.
So would that be an exchange? We'd bring the big ones and get a smaller one if we decided we wanted?
Correct.
Thanks.
The idea of the smaller ones are for the elderly or disabled that are having trouble, handling the larger bags.
Mm-hmm. Thanks.
So we're just B, I think it may be like a month before we get those. Like I said, they essentially delivered ones that were violated the terms of the grant. So they have to send us ones that don't violate the terms of the grant. So now that order is in process and we're just waiting for delivery.
All right, anything else in the citizens forum?
I don't see anything else in the chat.
All right, well,
I'd like to, this is Diane Dunphy. I just wanted to let you know that if you want to join the Open Space Committee meeting, that has been changed from tomorrow night to September 16th, and that will be posted tomorrow.
Thank you, Diane.
all right, so we are going to adjourn into an executive session and won't be returning to open session. I will make that motion. I move that the Board of Selectmen vote to adjourn into executive session pursuant to General Law, Chapter 30A, 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to litigation, Northeastern University Marine Science Center, 430 Nahant Road, Nahant. If the chair declares that an open meeting may be detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the public body, and I do declare that it would be detrimental. We have a second on that.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, roll call vote.
Gene Canty, aye.
Mark Cullen and I.
Josh Antrim, aye. All right, thank you all for joining this evening, and have a great rest of the evening. We're going to go into executive session now, so we'll ask you to drop off of Zoom.
Josh, I'll be right back.
Okay.
I was having a tough day for me, was really over here. Hey, give it 10. Give it 10.